chapter 4. And 7 women shall take hold of one man in that day, saying, We will eat our own bread, and wear our own apparel. Only let us be called by your name. Take you away our reproach. In that day shall the growth of the Lord be beautiful and glorious, and the fruit of the land excellent and comely for them that are escaped of Israel. And it shall come to pass that he that is left in Zion, and he that remaineth in Jerusalem, shall be called holy, even every one that is written unto life in Jerusalem. When the Lord shall have washed away the filth of the daughters of Zion, and shall have purged the blood of Jerusalem from the midst thereof, by the spirit of judgment, and by the spirit of destruction. And the Lord will create over the whole habitation of Mount Zion, and over her assemblies, a cloud and smoke by day, and the shining of the flaming fire by night. For over all the glory shall be a canopy. And there shall be a pavilion for a shadow in the daytime from the heat, and a refuge, and for a covert from the storm and from the rain. Okay, let's go back to verse 1. And verse 1 would begin with the word and. So we know it's carrying through from chapter 3. We ended with the daughter of Zion sitting in the dust. God has brought her down and set her there. And notice this is God who's done these things. And what God is doing, he is bringing destruction now even to a city. God is bringing great destruction to Jerusalem, this place of peaceful teachings. And now we're going to pick this up in verse 1. And 7 women shall take hold of one man in that day, saying, We will eat our own bread, and wear our own apparel. Only let us be called by your name. Take you away our reproach. And these 7 women, 7 is what means perfection. And these women are in representation of that which comes from man, and this would be a teaching. And they're going to say unto a man in that day, saying, We will eat our own bread and wear our own apparel. In other words, we have our own victual, we have our own clothing. Only let us be called by your name. Take you away our reproach. So give us a name, take us to wife now. Why? Take away our reproach, because they are with child. They already have an understanding. They already have this. They have been practicing idolatry, and this would represent how they are with child, with that understanding of this idol. But their idol's been destroyed. God has destroyed their idol now, and this is their husband being taken away, and they are without. 2. In that day shall the growth of the Lord be beautiful and glorious, and the fruit of the land excellent and comely for them that are escaped of Israel. And these are those that are escaped who witness these things, who understand these things that are going on, that when everything's falling apart and all these evils are coming and everything's going to pieces, it's God that's doing this. See, God's making an example. God's making an example out of the evil. God makes an example out of the goodness now, and God also makes an example out of the evilness by judgment and punishment, as we're going to find out. 3. And it shall come to pass that he that is left in Zion, and he that remaineth in Jerusalem, shall be called holy, even every one that is written unto life in Jerusalem. So everyone that remains, everyone that can understand these things, and this is not happening to these that are left in Zion, this parched place even, this place that was parched by God, as an example. See, it's the marker. It's that marker on the wheel that comes around. And he that remains in Jerusalem shall be called holy, or they shall be called, actually set apart would better describe this word. They should be set apart. 4. When the Lord shall have washed away the filth of the daughters of Zion, and shall have purged the blood of Jerusalem from the midst thereof, by the spirit of judgment and by the spirit of destruction. And that's what he's going to do, by the spirit of destruction and by the spirit of judgment. And this destruction is more like a burning, to this burning, the fire of all. fire of the law come through and consumed. See, the law consumed. See, because the law does judge. You don't have to accept it, because it does judge anyway. See, and the violation of the law is the evidence thereof in society, which we see through degradation. These are judgments of God for the violation of law. See, it doesn't matter whether you believe or not. It's automatic. It goes forth because He's God. 5. And the Lord will create over the whole habitation of Mount Zion, and over her assemblies, a cloud of smoke by day, and a shining of flaming fire by night. For over all the glory shall be a canopy. Over all the work of God, over all the glory of God is a canopy, this that we can see. Even this smoke by day, this cloud of smoke even. And this cloud of smoke represents this confusion. This, you can't really see through it. This smoke by day, and this smoke we're going to see is the smoke coming off a great furnace, and its light we see at night. This flaming fire by night. This is the fire that burns. This is that flaming fire even consuming from the oven, from the furnace. Even these furnace of judgment of God. See, this is all the understanding we need to be evidence of God right there. For they are consumed in their sin. 6. And there shall be a pavilion for a shadow in the daytime from the heat, for a refuge and for a covert from the storm and from the rain. This pavilion is a temporary shelter, not necessarily a shelter you might have made, but a shelter that's kind of been provided by nature itself, a thicket, a cleft overhang, anything to cause a shadow, anything to get under during the heat, to get out of the heat. And this heat is that from that fire of God consuming. And this a refuge for a covert in the storm and rain, because there's the great storm, this rain coming down, even these floods of the end time, which are going to sweep away. But we know what this is. We know what this is. This is the law of God, which is going to be your little covert. The law of God, even that which is consuming. It's the storm, it's the rain, it's everything. But it is also the protection now from all the judgment that comes from the disobedience of the law. It becomes your protection. Why? Well, you have the law. You're obedient to the law. Of course, we have to witness these things in society, and we have to live here amongst it. We have to live here in the midst of it all. See, and these are those that can stand in the furnace. And these are those that stand there, and God is with them there in the midst of it. They have the law, they have the obedience to it, and they know that God is with them. And believe me, this is a reward coming for you. God does go before you. He's going to drive out all this wickedness that's in the earth. He's going to remove sin. He's going to drive it out. God's going to do these things. See, men have tried. They just can't get the job done. They don't know how. They want to teach for money and gain. Always a price involved. There's no price here. The price here is that you give up sin. And the wages for giving up sin is life. See, and the wages of sin is death. The soul that sins, that soul shall die. And the soul that turns from his sin, that soul shall live. Turn and return to God and His law. Be obedient now. And we will continue to chapter 5.